The topic is the concept of inequalities. The essential question is, how do you solve inequalities? Why do you need number lines for inequalities? So inequalities are problems where there's more than one solution or answer. And that's why we have to graph inequalities on number lines. We have to graph their solutions on number lines. Okay, so inequalities are problems where there is more than one solution or answer, and since there's so many solutions or answers that are possible, that is why we have to graph their solutions on a number line. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. So it says list the numbers greater than -3. List the numbers greater than -3. So I want you to take a second right now, and I want you to write down 5 numbers that are greater than -3 and put them in this box right here under solutions. And then I want you to write 5 numbers that are non-solutions. So those would be numbers that are not bigger than -3. Okay? So I want you to remember the number line, and I want you to think about where numbers are on the number line, okay? So everything to the right of -3 is bigger. Everything further to the right is bigger. Everything to the left is smaller, okay? All right, so solutions for numbers that are bigger than -3. Here's a couple that you could have gotten. You could have gotten 1. That's bigger than -3 because 1's over here. It's bigger. 0 is bigger. -3/5 is larger. 10, -2. So those are just a few, and I'm sure you probably got more than me. And you'll notice that there's more than one solution. That's what makes this an inequality. All right, so some non-solutions. So numbers that are not bigger than -3. -9, that's not bigger because -9 is to the left. Numbers further to the left are smaller. -4, -3 and 5/10, -3 and 5/10, like a fraction, -68, -13, and -3. Okay, and I'm going to circle that one. Because that, when you compare it to the number that we're comparing it with up there, they match. So it says list the numbers greater than -3. Is -3 bigger than -3? No, they're equal. So therefore -3 is a non-solution. Okay? So just to reiterate, any number that's bigger than -3 or greater than -3 is a solution. So all of these right here, and I'm sure you thought of many, many more. Since there's an infinite number of solutions, so an infinite number means like forever, since there's a forever amount of solutions, you can show the solutions on a number line or using inequality notation. So instead of sitting here writing down every single number that could possibly be a solution, I mean, that's impossible to do because that would take forever and we don't have forever. You can write the solutions on a number line. So what you need to have on your number line is make sure you have that magic number, okay, the number that you were comparing it with. And I'll show you in next pages what I mean by that. Okay, so you want that -3, it has to be on there. And make sure your number line is completely accurate. And what I mean by that is make sure you're jumping consistently. So if you decide to jump by 2s, then you would add 2 to this side and subtract 2 to this side to get your numbers right there, okay? For me, I just like counting by 1s. It's the easiest for me. It's the it's the fastest way for me. So -3 plus 1 is -2, so -2 go there. And -3 minus 1 is -4, so that would go right there. Okay, and don't forget your arrows on your number line to signify that it goes forever in either direction, okay? All right, so since -3 is not a solution, right at -3, it's still important, but it's not a solution, so we're going to have an open circle right there. If -3 was a solution, we would fill it in, but -3, it's not a solution, so it's an open circle, and it's still important, okay? Now look over here at your solutions. Those are all the values that the numbers could possibly be, okay? Those are the numbers that are bigger than -3, so we're going to represent those answers with an arrow. So take a second, and by looking at them, you're going to determine which way they lie on that number line. So 1, that's to the right, it's like over here. 10, that's like over here to the right. Negative 2, that's right there. Negative 3/5 is like right here. 0 is like right here. Okay, so you're going to notice that the solutions are any number to the right of negative 3. Those are all solutions, and that's why we are representing it with this arrow here, saying, hey, the number's greater than negative 3, they're right here on the number line, and it goes on forever and ever and ever, so I don't have to list them all because I don't have time for that. All right, the next way that you can show the solutions to this inequality up here is by using inequality notation. Now, typically in algebra, they're going to use the variable of x. And you're going to probably see that very, very often when you're dealing with inequalities. They typically use the variable of x. So we're going to write down x. And x is going to represent those numbers, okay? The numbers that we're talking about that are going to be greater than negative 3. So you're going to write down x, and then you're going to write down that number right there. Or you could write the negative 3 first and then that variable second. Remember, the variable represents those numbers that are greater than negative 3, okay? So looking at our number line right here, it shows that x, this is x, these are all the numbers that x could be, okay? They could be negative 2, it could be negative 2.5, etc. All those numbers, they're bigger than negative 3. So therefore, your inequality symbol, you're going to use this one, okay? This says x, you know, the numbers, the unknown numbers that, you know, there's so many of them, is greater than negative 3. So x is any number bigger than negative 3, like this one, this one, this one, this, all those numbers, okay? Or I want you to get used to it this way also. If you write negative 3 first, it's the same exact thing. X is still bigger than negative 3. So x is bigger than negative 3. Now I want you to reflect back to, I think it was one of your elementary school teachers. That teacher said that the Pac-Man, which they should have said the inequality, eats the bigger number. So we're saying that x is bigger than negative 3, okay, and it is. So that's why it faces that way, okay? And it's just going to be this inequality because that's an open circle. If this was a filled-in circle to signify that negative 3 was a possible solution, then you would write a little half of an equal sign there, okay? But that's not the case because it's an open circle, so this is accurate right here. So for your summary, I want you to write down, why do we have to graph inequality solutions on a number line? How come? Why do we have to do that? Okay, turn the page. So you'll see the problem on this page is a little bit more lengthy than the previous problem on the first page. And that's okay, it's just going to require us to do some reading and some thinking. So it says 5 less than a number is greater than or equal to 3. What could the number be? So you got to think of a number and determine if it goes in the solution department or the non-solution department. And I do want you to find 5 solutions and 5 non-solutions. And try to do that on your own instead of waiting for me. But I'll show you how, probably the most straightforward way to do this. And I just need to scratch a piece of paper just so I can keep the number straight in my head. So I'm just going to pick a number that I'm going to use. And I'm going to pick just kind of like a more friendly number because I know I'm going to be having to do some mathematics with it. And I don't want to just think too hard because these are just notes. So I'm going to pick 10. Okay, and it says 5 less than a number is greater than or equal to 3. So 5 less than a number. So a number, I chose 10. So 5 less than 10 is 5. Is 5 greater than or equal to 3? Yeah, 5 is greater than or equal to 3. So therefore, you take that 10 and you write it in the solution thing, the solution department. Don't put a 5 down because we put it the 10 right there. 5 is less than a number, so 5 less than 10 is 5. And 5 is greater than or equal to 3. So since that's true, we put the 10 right there, okay? All right, now go ahead and pick another number. I'm going to pick 7. And I write it down right there so I don't get confused because I get confused really easily, as you know. 5 less than a number. Well, the number is 7. So 5 less than 7, that's 2. Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? No way, 2 is not. So I'm going to put a 7 in the non-solution section. Okay? Let me try another one. I'm going to try, let's try 15. Okay? 5 less than a number, so 5 less than 15, that's 10. Is 10 greater than or equal to 3? Yeah, it is. 10 is greater than or equal to 3, so therefore that 15, that number that I used, goes in the solution section. Okay? Let's try another number. Let's try 3. Okay, so 5 less than a number. Well, my number's 3. 5 less than 3 is negative 2. Is negative 2 greater than or equal to 3? No, it's not. So I'm going to put the 3 in the non-solutions category. Okay? Let me try another number. Let's try negative 2. All right, 5 less than a number. So 5 less than negative 2. 5 less than negative 2 is negative 7. Is negative 7 greater than or equal to 3? No. So therefore, I'm going to put that 2 in the non-solutions category. Okay? So I want you to find 2 more non-solutions, and I want you to find 3 more solutions. But I have not found that magic number yet, and here's what I mean by that. I need to find a number that when I plug it in, it's comparing to this number right here. Okay, and here is the magic number. So here, let me show you. It's 8. Okay, so 8. 5 less than a number, so 5 less than 8 is 3. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3? See how I have a 3 right there and it matches that? 3 is greater than or equal to 3, so this 8 goes in the solutions category. And I want you to draw a circle around it, okay? You need to put the circle around it because that's kind of, that's your magic number. All right, so you take a second and find 2 more solutions, 2 more non-solutions. Here's some possible answers that you could have gotten. 39, 100, 72, 11, 12 and 5/10. Let's see, 9 and 1/10. Okay. All right, here's some non-solutions that you possibly could have gotten. You could have gotten negative 5. Could have gotten 5. Negative 74. Negative 7 and 1/2. Okay. All right, now to show our solutions on the number line. Now the number that definitely has to be on the number line is that magic number right there. Okay, and again, jump consistently on your number line. So, gosh, for the heck of it, I'm gonna just jump by 2s. So 8, 9, 10, so 10 would go right here. 8, this 6 would go right there. See how I'm jumping consistently? So then this one would be 12. Okay, this one would be 4, right? Okay, so just jump consistently. And let's see, so that 8, it's important. So I'm gonna, I want you to know that it's one of the solutions, okay? So since it is a solution, you're gonna fill in that circle. It's saying, hey 8, you're important. Oh, and you are one of the solutions. And then look at your other solutions. 9 and 1/10, 12 and 5/10, 39, 11, 10, 72. Which way do they lie on the number line? All those numbers, all those solutions lie to the right. So this arrow right here and this dot, that represents all the answers that fit this criteria up here, okay? Now it's time to write your solutions using inequality notation. And I want to see if you can beat me with this. Try to write it down before I do. Okay, so we use the variable of x. We write down our little magic number. And I also want you to make sure that you can write the number first and then that variable second, okay? So which one's bigger? 8 or x? All these values that x could be, okay, that unknown number. 8 or x? Think to yourself, which further to the right, 8 or the x? Oh, the x is, so that's bigger. So it's going to eat that way. The inequality is going to face that way, and keep in mind it's filled in, so you're going to put that little symbol right there, okay? Well, x is bigger, it's still bigger over here, and yeah, it could also equal 8. So there's your solution in inequality notation. All right, so now you're going to see this little example down here. And these all go together because I want you to look back up here. 5 less than a number. Do I know the number? Nope. There it is. 5 less than a number. Isn't that 5 less than a number? Good. And that's greater than or equal to 3. Isn't that greater than or equal to 3? Okay? So see how we are taking this little story problem and I wrote down an inequality right there to represent that situation. And this might be a faster way when you combat or when you come across those story problems. So here's what you do. Just like you would an equation, you build it. So just like normal, you start with x and then we subtracted 5. That's it. So the inverse operation of subtracting 5 is adding 5, and you're going to do that to both sides of that inequality. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. 3 plus 5 is 8. And look, instead of putting an equal sign there that you would with an equation, since this is an inequality problem, you bring down the inequality just like you see it and bring down your x. Now that x is all by itself, you're done. But I do want you to remember that you need to write it the other way just so you know both ways in case it's presented to you this way. You'll still know what to do. Okay? Again, x is bigger than or equal to 8, so x is bigger than or equal to 8. So there's your answer in inequality notation. And look, it matches exactly right here. See that? Matchy, 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 matchy. All right, so for your summary, I want you to graph this solution. 8 is less than or equal to x. I already wrote the number line for you, so I want you to go ahead and graph the solution to represent what values x could be, okay? Remember, there's an infinite amount of numbers, so that's why we want an infinite amount of solutions to this inequality, so that is why you have to graph it on a number line. All right, next page. 4 times a number is less than 12. What could the number be? So take a second, do that same strategy that I showed you on the previous page, and I want you to fill in 5 solutions and 5 non-solutions. For those of you that don't remember the previous page, you can either rewind the video, or I guess I can spend some time and show you, okay? So pick a number. Again, try to pick like a friendly number. 5, okay? 4 times a number. Well, 4 times 5, because 5 is the number I selected. 4 times 5 is 20. Is that less than 12? Is 20 less than 12? Nope. So that 5 goes in the non-solutions department, okay? Let me try another one. Let's try 1. 4 times a number, so 4 times 1 is 4. Is that less than 12? Yeah, that's less than 12, so that 1 goes in the solutions section. Let's try negative 2. Let's see. 4 times a number, oh, so 4 times negative 2, so that's positive 4. If you're like, I don't know how to do that without a calculator, I'm going to remind you about this thing. Remember this thing right here? It works for multiplication and division only. Okay, only multiplication and division. And since this is times, that means multiplication. So I have a positive 4 times a negative 2. So I'm going to look at using the rows. So positive 4, there it is, times a negative 2. It's going to give me a negative answer. Okay, so I know it's going to be negative something. Okay, 4 times a number. 4 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 8. Is that less than 12? Yeah, that's less than 12, so negative 2 goes in this department. Okay. All right, go ahead and try to find your magic number and fill in the rest of these, okay? All right, here's some possible answers you could have gotten. 2 and 9/10. Negative 1. 0. Here's some non-solutions. 9, 4, 14. Okay, so have you found the magic number? I want you to try this one right here, okay? 4 times a number. Well, 4 times 3, that's 12. Is 12 less than 12? No, because it equals it. So that 3 goes in the non-solutions. But since when we plugged it in, when we got 4 times 3 is less than, 4 times 3 is 12, and since that's less than 12, and you heard the 12, it matches with this, it's comparing that. So that right there is our magic number. So when you're going to write your solution on the number line, you want to make sure you put that, oops, I don't know, I put a negative, sorry. That's a 3. I want to put that 3 right there. I'm going to just count by ones this time. Make sure I put my arrows on, okay? And since this is a non-solution, since that 3, it's important, but it's a non-solution. It's going to be an open circle. And look at your solutions over here. Where do they lie on the number line? Well, 1 is over here to the left. Negative 1's over here. 0 is like right here. 2 and 9/10 is like right there. Negative 2 is like over here. All right, so all those answers, solutions to this inequality will lie to the left. Now it's time for inequality notation. Again, you want to use the variable of x, or whatever one you want to designate for this. You want to put that 3 there, and then you want to write the 3 first and then that variable second. Okay, and examine your inequality graph, and it'll help you, or you can examine your solutions right here. So these values of x, which one's bigger? X or 3? Which one's further to the right? It's bigger. So 3 is further to the right, so that's going to be bigger. Okay? If it was filled in, you'd put half an equal sign in there, but it's open, so keep that like that. Okay? And again, which one's bigger? X or 3? Oh, 3 is. Okay? All right, now down below, this matches the story problem. 4 times the number, okay, number, that's my number, 4 times the number, says is less than 12, is less than 12, boom, okay? So solve it just like you would an equation, but instead of using an equal sign, you use the inequality sign. So we start with x, then we multiplied it by 4, and then that's all we did. So the inverse operation of timesing by 4 is to divide by 4, so you're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 1 times x is 1x, or x. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and just bring down your inequality. Look at matchy-matchies. So you can also write it as 3 is greater than x. Okay, same thing. So for your summary, how did you find that magic number? How did we know that 3 was the magic number? You can use it how you found it here, or how did you find the magic number here? Okay? Then go ahead and turn the page over, please. Okay, a number multiplied by -2 produces a number less than 10. So I'm going to be multiplying by a negative. So it might be a good idea to just draw your little chart over here and make sure you know how to draw it. Remember, diagonally across is pluses or positives. Then everything else, put minuses or negatives. Same thing, okay? All right, so my solution department's right there. My non-solution department's right there. And I'm just going to go fill in 5 and fill in 5 at least, you know? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's think of a number. Okay, number multiplied by -2. So I'm going to try -4. Okay? So multiplication, you're reading it this way. Division would be this way, okay? That divided by that equals that. All right, anyway. Okay, so -4. A number multiplied by -2. So here's my number. -4 multiplied by -2. So it's a negative times a negative. Is that a negative times a negative? Nope. Negative times a negative? Nope. Negative times a negative, oh, gives me a positive, all right? So -4 times -2 gives me 8. Is 8 a number less than 10? Is 8 less than 10? Well, yeah, it is. So that -4 goes in the solutions department, okay? Try another number. Let's try -6. Okay, a number multiplied by -2. -6 times -2. Negative times negative is positive, so -6 times -2 is positive 12. Is 12 less than 10? No, so that -6 goes in the non-solutions category, okay? All right, go ahead and fill in, find me 4 more solutions, 4 more non-solutions, and try to find that magic number. You've got to, okay, because that will help us with the number line. So here's some possible answers you could have gotten. You could have gotten 20, because 20 times -2 is -40. Is that less than 10? Yeah, -40 is totally less than 10, so that 20 goes over there. Let's try 10. Number multiplied by -2, so 10 times -2 is -20. That's less than 10. Okay. There, let's try -5. So -5 multiplied by -2 is a positive 10. Is that a number less than 10? So -5 times -2 is positive 10. Is that less than 10? Is 10 less than 10? No, it's not. They're equal to each other. So that -5 that I was just talking about goes in the non-solutions category, but it's important. That's the magic number, okay? All right, some other numbers you could have gotten are -8 for non-solutions, -9, -7. Over here you could have gotten 9, -3. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, now number line time. Put that -5 on there, and go ahead and let's just jump by ones. Okay, open circle or closed circle? It's an open circle because that -5 is a non-solution. So open circle that sucker. And let's see these solutions. Which way do they go? So -4 is to the right. 20 is like way over here to the right. 10 is like over here to the right. 9 is to the right. -3 is right here. So yeah, all your solutions are to the right. Okay, that's an open circle. Sorry if it looks like I filled it in. It's open. Okay. All right, inequality notation time. X and -5, or you can write the -5 first and then the x. And let's go ahead and examine our inequality here. So all these, which one's further to the right? Which one's bigger because it's further to the right? -5 or x? Oh, x is bigger because it's further to the right. Do I put in that half an equal sign? Nope, because it's an open circle. Okay, then down here, see how x was bigger? Well, x is still bigger right there. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at this example down here. A number multiplied by -2. So a number would be x multiplied by -2, so it'd be -2x. Boom. It says produces a number less than 10. There's less than 10. Okay, got it, got it. Now we're going to go ahead and build it. Start with x, multiply it by -2, then that's all we did. Sorry, I don't know, I'm getting carried away here, sorry. Okay, so the inverse operation to multiply by -2 is to divide by -2, and you're going to do that to both sides of that inequality, please. -2 divided by -2 is 1. 1 times x is 1x or x. And then 10 divided by -2 is -5. Bring that down. Okay, do you see a problem here? I do. See how these don't match up, okay? See how it's supposed to be x is bigger than -5, and this right here it's not? So that's where the problem comes up. And you need to know this and memorize this whenever you're dealing with inequalities, okay? Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative when solving an inequality, you must flip the sign at the end. So it's the end. Well, not the end of the video, but it's the end right here. You need to flip that sign, okay? So put your x there, put your -5 right there. We got to flip that sign, okay? See how it was here? Boom, we flipped it because we divided by that negative. All right, so see, again, whenever you multiply or divide by a negative when solving an inequality, you flip that sign at the end, okay? So do, flip it. And from there, then you just write it the other way. Okay, x was bigger, so x is bigger still, okay? So here's what I definitely want you to write for your summary, because this is so super duper important. See how you highlighted that, or drew attention to that? I want you to draw an arrow to there, boom, and write this down. Flip, or you can use the fancy word of reverse. Flip or reverse the inequality sign at the end whenever you multiply or divide by a negative when solving inequalities. So I was solving this thing, I divided by a negative, and I had at the very end, you flip it, okay? All right, write that down, and then turn the page, please. Okay, -3 times the number results in a number greater than 9. So, okay, I know I gotta multiply because the word times implies multiply, and I see a negative, so this is just a good little thing to have handy. Those are minuses, I don't know. Okay, anyway, -3 times the number results in a number greater than, 9? So let's pick some numbers, pick a number, I don't care. Let's try 0. -3 times the number, so -3 times 0, that's 0. Is 0 greater than 9? No, so put 0 over here, okay? Pick another number, let's try -8. Okay, -3 times the number, so -3 times -8 is a positive 24. Is 24 greater than 9? Well, yeah, so put that -8 in the solutions department. Okay, let's try 1. -3 times 1, well, that's -3. Is that a number greater than 9? No, -3 is not greater than 9, so that 1 goes in the non-solutions department. Okay, I don't know why I used a different color, sorry. All right, try 2. -3 times 2 is, a negative times a positive, so negative times a positive gives me a negative. So -3 times 2 is -6. Is that greater than 9? Nope, so this 2 goes in the non-solutions department. Okay, you right now need to find that magic number. And you need to put 4 more in the solutions and 2 more in the non-solutions, okay? So here's what you could have possibly gotten. I'm gonna know when I check this if you just copied me, because it would show that you're using my same numbers. I want you to use your numbers, all right? But these are some possibilities that you might have come up with. The odds of you coming up with the exact same numbers as me are pretty slim unless you just copied me, okay? And 5 and -2. And you know what your magic number is? It's -3. So let's decide where that goes. So I'm gonna write -3 on a sticky note I haven't really looked at yet. Here we go. -3. Okay, let's decide if it goes here or here. You should try to do that first, so you should pause the video and check it out. Okay, here we go. -3 times -3, that's positive 9. Is 9 greater than 9? No, because they're equal. So this -3 goes in the non-solutions part, and circle that. Okay? Draw your number line. Try to do it before me. Don't just copy me. Do it right now. Okay, it's going to be an open circle because -3, it's important, but it's not a solution. All your solutions are over here. -4. Okay, it's over here. -80 is like way over there. -100 is like way over there. -8 is like right here. -5 is like right there. So these are all to the left. Okay? And since it's not going to be filled in because that -3 is a non-solution, so now we can go to inequality notation. Okay? All right, which one's further to the right? Which one's bigger? X or -3? Oh, -3 is further to the right, so it's going to be bigger. Oops. Think about it. See how easily you could mess up? I almost messed up right there. All right, again, which one's further to the right? X or -3? -3 is bigger. And it's not going to have that little half and equal sign there because it's an open circle, okay? All right, let's go ahead and check this out. -3 times the number, boom, -3 times the number, results in a number greater than 9. So that's going to give you a number greater than 9. Cool, matches. I mean, they will because I wrote this myself. All right, let's build it. Start with X. And then we just multiplied it by -3. So now to unbuild it, you just do the inverse operation. Divide by -3. Divide by a -3. And if you're wondering why I said it like really weirdly like that, because I want you to remember something that you just learned on the previous page. I just divided by a negative, okay? So, in case you aren't getting the hint, what the heck do you do when you divide by a negative? -3 divided by -3 is 1. 1 times x is x. 1x, same thing. 9 divided by -3 is a -3 because a positive divided by a negative, gives me a negative, so that's why it's a -3. All right, and you're going to be like, oh, I got to do that. But you can't because you divided by a negative. So you have to reverse the sign. Whoops. Okay. See how you reverse the sign because we divided by a negative? Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative when solving an inequality, you need to flip that sign at the very, very end. Okay? So -3 goes first, then x goes second. -3 is still bigger. Okay? So that's how you'd write it. All right? And see, since we remember to reverse it, it matchy-matches up there. And here's your summary. If you blank or blank, fill it in. I told you enough information to figure it out. By a negative, when solving an inequality, you must flip or reverse the inequality symbol at the end. So when you do blank or blank, okay? All right, bye.